Doc is back. Welcome to Medically Speaking with Dr. Winston Alexis, hosted by Tyrone Robertson. Join Doc and his guests as they discuss healthcare and the Caribbean community every Thursday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on caribcast.tv, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and most other popular podcast platforms.
I didn't grow up here, but Broward County has become home to me. This is where I settled. I raised my family here and started my practice here. For over 20 years, I've represented my neighbors, people who needed help in a stressful time. If you find yourself in need of an attorney, reach out to someone you can trust, someone with a proven track record.
When a car accident or personal injury sets you back, call Scott McCullough.
954-989-3435.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this week's episode of Medically Speaking with Dr. Winston Alexis. Doc.
Yeah, we back.
And how are you yet again? Another week.
Still stressed out, still under pandemic manners, but it's getting better.
Yes, we're well on our way.
Oh, and I'm so happy to finally see my people taking the vaccine.
Yes.
Because that's the answer to the end of this.
Yes.
Right? And somebody was asking me the other day, I did a program, as I told you Monday, and the lady was saying, when you get the vaccine, can you get COVID? Irrelevant. Let me tell you why. They're saying now if you get the vaccination, you will not die of the disease.
Right.
And it would not be serious for you to go to a hospital. But the question is, can you get it? You know why it's irrelevant?
Tell me.
We still need to be wearing our masks and distancing even if you get the vaccine. Let me tell you what is important about that. Not whether I could get sick still after the vaccine or I could give it to somebody, but we need the entire nation, vaccine or no vaccine,
right,
to be following a protocol which will lead to herd immunity. That might, even though me and you got our vaccine, you still wear your mask.
Understood.
You still distance, right? And whether you could get the infection or not is not the point. We need to have the whole nation mask up and social distancing and wash your hands.
So by now that should be a learned activity, or it should be it should be learned behavior. Because we've had a year of it. We've had a year or just about. Remember, initially the mask wearing wasn't a part of it.
Right.
But certainly the social distancing and the hand washing.
All right.
And we've been wearing masks long enough now. Other regions and countries and territories, it's a part of their lifestyle.
Remember, I'm glad you bring that last point up. Again, God rest his soul, he died years ago. My father teach me about things. Don't matter whatever happened to you, you look at it from different viewpoints.
Right.
And you end up by saying, what can I take away from this? And I've done that in myself. There are a few habits I learned that, frankly, it wasn't obvious to me all these years.
Right.
Now I wash my hand before I eat every time. You know, long my mother and father was telling me that years ago.
Yeah.
Right? And it's come back now because of this pandemic. But guess what? I am going to do this from now on, not because of the pandemic is good.
Never too late
other
to
bacteria,
learn.
yes. So I make sure when I come into my house, before I go anywhere close to the food, I wash my hands.
Right.
My mother never used to pay any mind, but I've learned this from there, that washing your hand can be a preventative measure in many diseases, not just viral. Right? So therefore, it's a good habit. So I'm going to do that from now. All right? The fact that is shaking hands the necessary thing.
Well, the jury is out on that one.
But remember how we used to do in the old days with Black Power?
Yes.
You never shake nobody's hand,
The fist bump and...
Yeah. Is it necessary? Or like I have a little Indian in me, like Mahatma Gandhi. You put your two hands in front of you and you bow. Right.
So again, it's all learned, newly learned.
Right.
Behaviors.
So what I'm trying to say, there are some good things that will come out of this.
Yeah.
Do not forget them when it's over. maybe even relationships with your family, maybe even relationships with your neighbor or a friend or at work, right? See the good in that, right? And don't just brush it away because the pandemic is gone. There are some good lessons that we could learn from this. That's number one, that we need to look at carefully and continue them whether there is pandemic or not, right? That's one.
Makes sense.
All right. The second thing is the country has begun to move on. I don't know if people know that. You could listen to all this news and feel it's pandemic. No. It's moving on.
Absolutely.
Listen to your president. One good thing, he always talk about pandemic, but then he started to talk about infrastructure. He started to talk about moving health forward. He started to talk about climate change. You know what that means? All of you people who are talking about starting up businesses. Solar heat is back on its way again. Windmill is back again. So even when you're thinking about business ventures, think about climate change and think about infrastructure. They're going to rebuild all the bridges and roads. And so kind of look at where we're going with this.
And let's put some work into the hospitals and the healthcare facilities.
But then you get ready.
Yes.
If you are a worker, if you're a nurse, say, hey, this might be coming. Let me finish my education. Let me get it ready.
Right.
And don't wait till by the time you find out we have a new administration or something going on. You have to watch politics.
Yes.
The direction in which things are going. Having spoken about that, let's get to my field. What is going to happen in health? All right? And you need to help me with this. Where do you think it's going?
Oh, all right.
That's what I'm talking about. Not answering the question.
I know that you keep telling me that I'm doing a fantastic job and I can take over the show.
Yeah, but you need about 6 more months. Don't get carried away. I don't mean no. You want to take away my show now?
No, well, listen. I have the answer to most of the issues, you know. Stress. Reduce stress.
Reduce stress.
Is a cure all.
Anybody ask you, what you think wrong? I think you're stressed out. When a doctor can't find out what's wrong with you, you always
draw some certainty.
Right.
Anyway, so let us get into it a little bit now. So obviously, I know we've spoken about telehealth or telecare or however, whatever term you use for it, you know. So that is a biggie, because again, the way in which people are used to communicating with their physician, it's changing.
The poor man has never had that opportunity.
Correct.
You know what is great about what you are saying? I had a little problem last week. I ain't go through nothing. I have a direct line to who I need to talk to.
Right.
I call them and say A, B, C, D, E. Say, okay, come in Tuesday, I'll do so and so. Let me tell you what the regular man has to do. He have to get up, or your back hurt him. He have to look somewhere in his insurance thing. Who is a doctor who could do this? Then call them and make an appointment. Then go sit down in their office for 2 hours before they see him. What is going to replace that now? And by the way, the rich people, as I said, have always had a direct access to the health care.
Yes.
The health, the person who's offering the health care. The poor man is going to be able to do that now. It's called telehealth.
Right.
No. Where before, to see me, you can't talk to me on the phone, you know. You have to come sit down in my office.
Question. Do you see where this will open up facilities that offer, obviously only to a certain level, the ability for you who may not have insurance,
right,
to say, you know what, I have a headache and an earache,
right,
and I want to get an opinion. Do you think that this telehealth or telecare will facilitate, again, possibly a new venture, business, that, okay, I'm a middle of my career healthcare professional. I'm a physician, but I don't want to go into the whole office thing and this, that, and the other. I just want to offer this first tier, or first level.
Right. It was never available in the large cities, some in the rural areas, where you can do that. They wouldn't pay me for talking to you on the phone. You understand? I could talk to you 100 times. There's nowhere for me to bill them. There's nothing say phone visit. So therefore, for me to get my money, I ain't telling you nothing on the phone.
Got you.
Now telemedicine is paying for it. So you are now coming to something that the rich man have always had. You are now able to pick up your telephone, call the office. By the way, my office get fancy now. You make the appointment online that you want to have a consultation with Dr. Alexis. I had 3 in the last 2 days.
All right.
Prior to that, I had 0 in the last 20 years. So I spoke to 3 people I've never met before on telemedicine Zoom. We're looking at each other. They tell me all the problems. I explain to them, tell them what I can do. Some I can treat by phone. Some I need to actually examine, and they will come in. Normally, that will take 3 visits. Now I've taken care of 2 visits in one by just talking to the individual. Because that's the way medicine is. You talk to the person first. You draw some inference from it. Then you do a bunch of tests to see if you're right. Then you come back for us to talk about it. Now, you know what I do when I talk to the person? I say, I need an ultrasound on you. I need for you to go and get some blood tests. I'm sending some medicine to the pharmacy for you. When we get all this information in, I'm going to look it over. I'm going to speak to you again and then decide whether I need for you to come in for me to.
Okay.
Right. And we've been begging for this to be done in the third world for years.
So you've eliminated a visit?
Yeah. And I had more time. I'm more relaxed. I can do it at home. By the way, it's a save. The insurance company, it's good for them too. Because if that come to my office, I charge more than what I charge for it by phone.
Yes.
So they're finally, and by the way, everything in America boils down to business.
Of course.
Cost. Right? So now that we can make some money and save time is money. I don't need as big an overhead because, Tyrone, I'm telling you right now, I'm paying 1/3.
Yes.
My overhead has gone down to 1/3 of what it was before the pandemic. So I don't have to hustle as hard. Right? So that is one direction. Telehealth is here to stay.
All right.
And it's a good thing.
All right. Well, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a short break and we'll be right back to Medically Speaking with Dr. Winston Alexis.
Dr. Ronald Moore and his team at Minimally Invasive Surgery perform laparoscopic robotic procedures with the utmost precision. As a bariatric surgery specialist, Dr. Moore performs a range of surgeries and operations focusing on areas and organs of the abdomen. For gastric sleeve, bypass, and banding, to endoscopic balloon and hernia procedures, call the Office of Minimally Invasive Surgery at 954-797-4220 to schedule your appointment. Minimally Invasive Surgery has 2 convenient Broward County locations to serve you. Call 954-797-4220 to schedule your appointment today.
And we're back to Medically Speaking with Dr. Winston Alexis. So, Doc, let's continue on this telehealth for a second. So, what are some of the things that you would advise our listeners to look at or prepare to get themselves prepared for more of this telemedicine?
All right. Learn to tell your physician a story.
Okay.
Whatever if you're complaining about a period, tell him the story about it. Don't say, Doc, you know what happened? My period heavy. Tell me a story. Doc, the first 2 days heavy. The second 2 days slow down. The first day I have pain in my back. The fourth day I don't have pain in my back.
Okay.
Let's go to your stomach. Oh, you know, God, my stomach feel bad. What that mean? That mean I feel to vomit or I don't feel to vomit. You know, if I drink water, it get worse. If I drink Cersei, it get better. Pull one on you.
I hear you, man. I hear you. Stress and Cersei.
Right, and Cersei. You have a belly pain? I take Cersei, it didn't work.
Yes.
You know, but anyway, don't come and tell me, Doc, my belly hurt. No?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, my son went to, we changed doctors, and them get to a certain age now, the big man can't go to pediatrician no more. So he went to my doctor, and, of course, I called and made the appointment and things. So what is interesting is, and I explained this to my son, was that, listen, he's going to ask you a lot of questions, which he already knows the answer to, but it's a part of the thing about your father and your mother.
Sure.
What the family, your grandparents, again, fortunately for you, he has that information already, but he still has to ask this because it's important to know what are some of the issues and what are some of the ailments that, the family has.
It's how I do my work.
Yes.
I want to hear the full story.
Yes.
The difference, what bothers me, sometimes I have to drag it out to people. Like one time, I remember in Mobile, a lady come and say, "Hi, morning, ma'am, how can I help you?" "Doc, I feel sick." I say, "But guess what? I feel sick too, You have to tell me a little more than you feel sick. How you mean you feel sick?" And she looks surprised. I say, "Yeah, mama, you have to tell me if it's your toe hurt or your head or your eye. You can't just come tell me you're sick." But the truth is, the important thing for the patient to understand, I can get a better picture of what I think is happening, the clearer the story that you give to me. So pay attention to the symptom. Even if your eye swell up, go look at it in the glass. Is it red? Is the both eye swell up? Don't just say, "Oh, my eye swell up, I'm gone." Or having a pain all night, and you can't tell me where.
I would venture to say that whether telehealth or not, this is something that you should be doing anyway.
We call it a good historian.
Yes.
About your problem.
Absolutely.
Remember, right? It's not happening to me.
Yeah.
You got to tell me.
So whether you're with your physician face to face in the office or you're doing this over one of these video conference or the phone, you still need to tell that story.
Yes. And the better you can tell it, the quicker I can get to an answer. And by the way, remember, it's your story and my brain.
Yes.
Forget that would in between.
That would be the big brain, right?
Right? Because I move into smaller quarters now, I almost apologize because you see how big my office is.
Yes.
I used to say, "Well, I toned down." One lady looked at me, she said, "Doc, we ain't interested in this, we're interested in your brain."
That's right.
And she was right. And I started laughing. I say, they came there from a brain.
That's right.
Not how small the place is. So, and she's quite right. Activate my brain.
Yes.
Again, imaging and lab work is only to be used by me to see if what I'm thinking is right. Let me give you an example in CSI. If you want to know if somebody raped somebody, the test is to do DNA on this, and that helps me to tell whether it's that man or somebody else.
Right.
Same thing in medicine. Ultrasound tell me if it's your ovary, your womb, your bladder, your appendix. That's how it helped me. But I know it's something in there. And I have an idea where it is just either proves it or not. The big thing is pay attention to your symptoms. You don't have to make the diagnosis. Just give me a good story, or anybody where you go. Emergency room, give the man a good story.
So from the moment that you experience whatever, the pain or the discomfort, till you get to the physician or get to speak to the physician.
Right.
There's something else I wanted to touch on, I along the same lines of being prepared for this telehealth or telemedicine. And the infrastructure, your personal infrastructure. Make sure you have good internet.
Yes.
Understand?
I'm glad you brought that up. One of the hells we catch it now is, first of all, I'm an idiot when it comes to IT.
Right.
But given that, the thing going, like the show we had, it going off, it going on, and I asked him until something come up about something about the power, the signal or something going on. So having good internet.
Yeah, very important.
I didn't even think about that. It's important, in healthcare since we are going to be doing telehealth.
Yes.
You can't have a halfway good anything, right?
And I'll give you a hint, because everybody might be saying, well, it's going to cost more and so on. And there are programs out there.
Right.
If you fall into a certain financial category, there are programs out there to get you more than sufficient internet.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Cellular phone or mobile phone, the same thing.
And now consider this essential now.
It is an essential.
Right. Before it was a kind of luxury thing. Now it's think about even your kids in school.
That's correct.
This is likely to happen again sometime in the future. Get ready now.
Yeah.
Right? So that's one of the things with telehealth. I think and by the way, the more you understand your problem, is the more you can carry out my directions.
Yes.
Right? You'll be able to understand why am I giving you this and why you have to take it every day rather than one day or 3 hours rather than 4 hours.
And at the risk of being repetitive, but you all will forgive me for this. Know your ailment. If you have been diagnosed as being hypertensive or diabetic, know about it. Learn all that you can. And again, at the risk of being repetitive, get out there, get to these reputable sites.
And read.
Right. Know about it.
Like you seriously trying to take away my job.
No, Doc, sorry.
I was listening to you over there. It's like, it's me over there. What? You have a degree? I want to see your paper. You have to stick it up there.
Well, I did mention to you before that I like the sound of Dr. Robertson.
You like By the way, I hear there's a place you could pay somebody and they put
I want it the right way. Even if it's an honorary thing from a medical
the honorary thing is for preaching. You could be a doctor of divinity. Just send somebody for the people.
That's still a doctor.
A doctor is a doctor. Right. But you know, in more seriousness now, especially, people need to understand how healthcare works. You can't just, again, I don't want to be repetitive like you say, but go in a doctor and say sick.
Yes.
No, man. Come on, especially with the resources we have. Go and read. What that would allow you to do is not to make the diagnosis, but to have a sensible conversation with me. Because now you understand the language.
Absolutely.
Right? It's the same thing with my motor car. I know what is this and carburetor and crankshaft. And not because I know mechanic, but when a man say crankshaft, I need to have a little idea what he's talking about.
Even when you go to the mechanic?
Yeah.
When you say to the mechanic, in the morning, when I start the car, it makes this noise, but when it warms up, we don't seem to hear that noise again.
Good. Unlike my analogy, you're laughing. Unlike the cow analogy. This look like a very good one you make here, Tyrone. I tried to catch you. I'm going to catch you sometime making a funny analogy, and I will laugh at you too, like you did to me. Be careful with your analogies with me.
I am.
I look. My brother in Canada laughed too when he I say, boy, my partner lick me down.
Yes.
I said, Tyrone, you couldn't give me a break.
No.
He says the worst analogy he has ever in his life. Okay, but we're laughing, but remember, right? Please, and your health, not become a doctor. Your health is the greatest asset in the world. It's more than your house. It's more than your car. It's more than everything. But just think of it.
Yes.
When you are paralyzed from your head down, I know, and you can't move and you're in a wheelchair, I don't care how much money you have. It's useless. So health need to be put a little higher on your necessities of life.
That's right.
Coming to that, we need to talk a little bit about what changes is going to come in healthcare under Biden.
All right.
Right?
Hold that thought, Doc. We'll take a short break and we'll be right back.
For the absolute best obstetrics and gynecology care, call South Florida OBGYN at 954-452-4377. Schedule your appointment today with Dr. Winston Alexis, who has been serving the women of South Florida for over 25 years. Conveniently located in Plantation, Florida, the courteous and professional team at South Florida OBGYN are standing by to assist you. Schedule your appointment today by calling 954-452-4377.
And we're back to Medically Speaking with Dr. Winston Alexis. So, Doc, so President Biden, he is again, well on his way into his term, and he's making plans, making waves, and making some changes.
Right.
Talk to me a little bit about what you know about his plans for Obamacare.
Yeah. First place I'm going to get back at you before the year is over. But anyway, why don't you respect Madam Vice President, my classmate, to say President Biden and Vice President Harris?
Fair enough.
My schoolmate, pay attention to her, man.
All right, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And even though she's talking about Asian and she ain't talking nothing but Jamaica, it's okay.
We're not going down.
We're not going down that.
No.
All right, good. I just wanted to pull you up a little bit.
No problem.
Mention me, Vice President.
Consider myself pulled up.
There are rumors that Biden may be more minority-driven than Obama.
Really?
They say when it comes to, they're looking at, Obama had good theories, but he wanted to do everything for all of the country.
Nice guy.
Right. What Mr. Biden is saying, listen, simply, we're the Republican. These are the people who vote me in. These are the people who the Democratic Party relies on. You Republican, you could come along if you want. But we ain't making the mistake like Mr. Obama when we have you by the neck. To say, oh, we want to be goody two shoes. You could come if you want.
Right.
But we are going. All right. So one of the places he's going for sure is Obamacare. Right? People first need to understand a few things. I'm going to repeat it. We spoke about it more than a year ago. Obamacare is not an insurance policy.
Right.
It's a law. It's the Affordable Care Act that they name after him. So don't tell nobody, I want Obamacare. Obamacare is not an insurance. People come in, I have Obamacare. No, you don't. Right? You have an insurance policy under the Affordable Care Act.
Correct.
But the insurance companies are the same as the ones you have outside of the Affordable Care Act, or Obamacare as it's called.
Yes.
The only difference is for them to sell their insurance to the people who qualify for the Affordable Care Act. They have to follow certain rules.
Yes.
And the government have about 30 million people they want to give to them. You know how much is that to our insurance company? But they have to follow some stringent rules. What? No. Where's the one when no limits on how much they'll pay for your illness? Right? No pre-existing condition.
Right.
You can't cancel somebody's insurance in the middle of therapy for a serious. And that is how a lot of the insurance make the money.
Of course.
They take your premium, when time to pay a big bill, they bail out. Obamacare say, if you want these 30 million people, you will not bail out.
Yes.
Okay? So, not only that, because you have to give all of these, right? They drop the price, they make the price of the premiums low, so it attracts you. But then they make money on the backside by putting in things like deductible. You understand what I mean?
We call that bait and switch.
Exactly. Right? So, Obama made one mistake, right? Is that he didn't think he could get the second part passed with Republican help. Right? And he wanted their help in every. He thought they would help them in the first part and the bill. They stabbed them in the back. They did not support the first part of Obamacare. So, the lady in charge of the Speaker of the House was so mad at him for not including the second part of the program. It was called the public option. That's what's coming. All right. And I'll tell you what the public option is. The public option is, okay, this is what we think you should give in an average package. Right? And what we're using as the average, all the benefits that the people in Congress, their insurance give to them, the government is starting a program that they're offering this at a minimal price.
Right, okay.
The insurance companies, if they're going to go against this, better have a competitive product.
Got you.
And the argument the Republicans are saying is that this is a back door into having universal health care. Why? If this is so good, everybody is going to buy it. And it's subsidized by the government. Right? So when you hear the word public option, is that the government, they are not going to do it themselves. They're going to pay an insurance company to offer a plan, just like all the congressmen have. Yes. And they're going to charge a minimal fee. Why? They're not looking for profit. So they're charging a rock bottom price. The insurance will still make money carrying this. But they wouldn't make as much.
Let me ask this question now, Doc. So, in a case like that, and maybe I should do some research myself, but what stops somebody now from saying, wow, well, the insurance that I get through work, for instance, we still have to pay something. So, if paying that something is more than whatever is offered through the Affordable Cares Act, why would I not go that route?
You're a Republican? Because that's exactly what the Republicans are saying. Well, you are telling me the whole country will end up buying the government product.
Yes.
And it's subsidized, so it's universal health care.
Yes. Well, so they're not.
And by the way, they're right.
Yeah, they're not wrong.
What Obama and them is hoping for, there's still a lot of profit to be made by the regular insurance company, not as much as before.
Yeah.
Because they're competing with this product.
And you know what? And that's okay also.
It's fine. Let them make some money.
They've made enough money over the years that they can make a little less.
That they can, they will still profit. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, yes.
Because I guarantee you.
And I'm taking your side.
And I guarantee you, they're going to have a product that will compete with that.
Yeah.
But they will add 2-3 things to make the average person say, well, I rather this than the government.
Of course.
But I know one thing. The day it hit the market, I get rid of my Blue Cross Blue Shield. And I'm going and buy that. The day. Now, you all could sit down home and say, Obamacare. Doc will purchase the public option if it ever come on the market. Because I'm paying a bunch of money to Blue Cross Blue Shield.
We're not supposed to call names.
I am just saying what I am paying to. I'm not criticizing any company. Right? I have Medicare and I have supplemental insurance that I'm paying a lot of money for. I am going to ditch the supplemental insurance and buy whatever the government is. And remember, the government is not running it. The people will give up the contract to an insurance company that will administer it
because
for them.
They're experts in their field.
Thank you.
Yes.
So remember again, that may not be exactly how it works, but that is, in a nutshell, the government is going to put up something that the insurance company is going to have to compete with.
Right?
And that's the way you'll get them to compete. They'll have to say, no pre-existing, they have to follow all the rules of this one. And the price is going to be beaten down because of the government product.
Let me tell you, it can't happen soon enough.
I know, me too. I waited.
It cannot happen soon enough.
Right, and by the way, we can do it without the Republicans. But Obama could have done it in the first 2 years, but he wanted everybody to love him.
I don't want you to knock my boy.
No, I love him, you know.
Okay.
But Jesus on the cross say, Lord, why have thou forsaken me? So I can talk a little bit against Obama.
All right.
I love him.
Fair enough.
Yeah, he was great, but he made errors just like everybody else. Yeah. And by the way, it wasn't guaranteed he would have gotten through with the public option. But the point is he didn't even try. Because he felt if he put that with it, he wouldn't get the first part pass. You understand what he's saying? So he split it in two and say, okay, at least I get this much.
Brilliant move, actually.
Anyway, that's a nutshell. People pay attention because it's going to be coming up within the next 2 years, because that's the time the government, the Democrats have majority in both houses. After 2 years, you see what happens to Obama? He loses everything. Mm-hmm. So we better do everything we have to do.
Do it now.
Thank you.
Do it now.
That means climate. That means begin the product. That means, and I like my boy, he stand up there, well, except I have to send him, I have to text him. Mr. President, do not run up the stairs of the plane.
Lead it.
He's my age.
Yeah.
We can't, and we, including me, can't run up no stairs nowhere anymore.
Wait, why? But you're still playing tennis?
Yeah, but you have to climb it. And he ain't playing no tennis. When you running up the stairs, I hold the handle when I going up the plane.
He was feeling a
little
sprightly.
and Wayne tell me one man, daddy, he fall down twice. If it was one side, you're all right, but you're stumbling. Yeah. No, man, but that happens to me all the time, so don't think anything wrong with the person.
No, man, the man is fine.
Yeah, but I like his brain. I like where he's going.
Yes, and he is making some very, very positive moves.
Early childhood education, that's what minorities need.
Yes.
We don't need no free money. That's what we need.
Agreed.
To get the next generation ready, then we can get what has been promised us. Even if they give it us now, we ain't ready for it.
True that.
Yeah, we need to start from...
Very true.
Right. And you know, that is the good word I'm giving you today, to accept for the fact that we have to talk about where we going with the Caribbean connection. We need to let the people know that this show is just one of the things you all are presenting, but we have our eyes on bigger projects down the road.
Yes. So again, ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you for tuning in. Now, listen out, look out, be on the watch for the Caribbean American connection. We're going to start, obviously, where we're located in South Florida, and we're going to be doing things. We're going to be doing events. We're going to be
raising money.
Round and about town. We're going to be looking into the causes that we think are, underserved.
Right.
And we're going to be trying to do some things to assist in those areas.
Right. And because I'm in it, health is going to be a major part, but we'll be doing other things.
And quite frankly, health is the foundation of this thing. Doc and I have been talking for years about doing something, and it's coming to fruition.
Right. We're ready. And so we're going to probably target a few conditions in our, not just Caribbean Americans, but all Americans. Mm-hmm. Things like prostate cancer, diabetes, high blood pressure. Mm-hmm. And get involved in not just talking about it, but setting up organization and funds that can subsidize
and make an impact.
The people, in our community who really don't have insurance and cannot afford a mammogram to assist them, need the prostate exam. Nobody should be dying from prostate cancer. Nobody should be dying from cervical cancer. And guess what? They are. And the only ones who are dying is from our community.
All right.
Minority community. And these are two conditions. Don't say we can't stop you from getting it. Prostate cancer, we don't even know what causes it, but we know one thing. You don't have to die from it. Right? I'm living proof. My brother is living proof. Same thing with cervical cancer. No woman in the world, especially in a developed country, should die from this disease. All right? And the people who die from it in America are those that are lower socioeconomic group and minority groups. That's why we are attacking those two health questions.
All right.
Right? Prostate, cervical cancer. And who knows, down the road we might add a few more other things like diabetes and high blood pressure. And again, it's about subsidizing our community in particular to get these kinds of screenings.
Which is key.
Yeah, if they're not. So we probably going to be raising some dinero soon.
All right.
Well,
ladies and gentlemen, we've come to yet at the end of another Medically Speaking with Dr. Winston Alexis.
Right.
This show has been presented and produced by the Caribbean American Connection. Doc.
One thing, never is there going to be another analogy in my life. I promise you that you have cured me of my analogies. But it was nice as usual, Tyrone, and I hope the public would latch on and get some ideas and look out for a name. Not our, you guys' name, the Caribbean Connection. We're going to be making inroads into our community.
All right.
All right, Mike.
Until next time, stay safe.
We appreciate your time with us on Medically Speaking with Dr. Winston Alexis, hosted by Tyrone Robertson. Join us next Thursday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on caribcast.tv, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and most other popular podcast platforms. Doc is back. Although the host and guests are qualified professionals, they assume no responsibility for inaccuracies, omissions, inconsistencies, and any slight of people or organizations. Listeners should use their own judgment or consult an expert or their personal physician for specific applications to their individual medical problems.